Get cold at your house? Yeah. Cold at my house. Cold at everybody's house, I think. This was a bitter cold weekend in our Southland. And but it's going to be all right by and by. It ain't going to be all right for a few days because it's going to stay cold. But that's all right. We will make it through. Got a lot we can talk about today. I'm not going to hold you too close. It's Monday, and I kind of like to turn you loose on Monday and let you just ramble, talk about what's in the news or what happened to you over the weekend, or what needs to be changed. We seem to have, at least in the Atlanta area, dodged the bullet on the ice storm. I mean, everybody was hysterical, and I understand just north of here, a good bit of ice and some roads closed and that sort of thing. But I spent last night in Swanee, trying to stay one jump ahead of the ice storm because we were almost assured by the weather folks that we were going to get it, and we were going to get it hard. And so avoid the chance of being trapped in the mountains and not being with you today, we came down here last night. Plus, our water was frozen, too. And the lure of a shower called me south. You've heard the old expression, you never miss the water till the well runs dry. You know, never miss a shower until your water's frozen. I mean, we got to the hotel and checked in, and probably the all-time best shower. We take showers for granted. We get up every morning and take a shower. Maybe we feel nice and clean and refreshed all day. But the morning when you can't get one, when there's no water, gangbusters. All right, we're going to open this wide open. A lot of things going on, a lot we can talk about. California earthquake, another California earthquake. This one kind of centered in the San Fernando Valley, and apparently doesn't seem to be as bad as some of the past things out there. We're still getting information and still hoping those folks are going to be all right out there. You know, it seems that they go from one disaster to another, from the earthquakes to the fires. And then, of course, the fires burn all of the undergrowth as well as all the houses in the given area. And then they wind up with the mudslides. The Lord is trying to get their attention in California. If I lived out there, he would have mine. So we can talk about all. Incidentally, if we get any updates on what is going on out there, Santa Monica Freeway is closed because one spot buckled, but overall, it doesn't seem to be bad or as bad as those folks can have out there, and goodness knows they can have some. So we'll talk about all that. We'll even talk about the lady named Mila Bertelli. She's been stuck in an elevator. Mrs. Bertelli went for the longest elevator ride of her life the other day. This happened in Italy, and the elevator stalled between the second and the third floor of her apartment building. And there she sat for the next, listen to this, 58 hours. She lives in a seaside resort town, and there was no one else in the building in the middle of the week. She wasn't found until her husband came home more than 2 days later. She says apparently this old girl kind of enjoyed herself, says she read newspapers and daydreamed about the Caribbean to pass the time. She says the worst part of being stuck was having to listen to the alarm bell for 24 hours. And I guess the alarm bell just kept right on ringing. Tough. 58 hours in an elevator. And I thought getting no shower was bad. Our number, 1-800-572-8255. We would like to encourage some first-time callers today. We, as always, that's the best words we ever hear is first-time caller. So if you're out there, been wanting to call and haven't, Monday is almost always a slow day, telephone-wise, and I don't know why. People are getting back in the week and getting their lives started over again after a weekend. But it'd be a good time for you to get in here. But we encourage all of you to call about whatever may be on your mind. Our number, 1-800-572-8255. That's 1-800-572-TALK. Denny on duty. And apparently everybody dodged the bullet because everybody seems to be at work today. 1-800-572-8255, Ludlow and Denny. Let's talk about anything this morning. Join us. Oh, got to tell you about my buddies. Jasper Jeep in bad, isn't it?
It's raining pretty good out here right now, and it's 24 degrees.
Oh.
And you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I know exactly what's going to happen. Did you get anything overnight, Punch?
No, nothing overnight. It all started after, half an hour ago.
Apparently,
we had a little ice, but nothing serious.
Yeah, apparently that thing slowed down as it was headed. They talked about it first getting here at 10 o'clock or getting to the mountains at 10 o'clock. And then they kept sliding it back. So,
yeah.
But apparently it's coming to your house right now.
Well, unless you got four-wheel drive and chains, don't get on the roads up here today.
Yeah, a couple of roads around where I live up there closed.
Uh-huh. And about elevators.
Yeah.
I rode an elevator down in a coal mine up in Pennsylvania back during World War II, and I've never been so frightened in my life.
Yeah.
I landed D-Day, and I didn't get that scared.
Yeah.
That man dropped us 1.5 miles, and levels were going by, lights were going by 90 miles an hour. And I found out later that the way he knew to stop it, he was sitting in a little house up there with a big drum of cable on it.
Uh-huh.
And the way he knew when to stop the elevator, he had little pieces painted on the cable. All he had to do was blink, and they
Yeah, not a very scientific way to do it.
Just blink, and they could have left us down there.
I think I'll pass. I got stuck one time in San Francisco on an elevator, only for about 20 minutes. But it was full. There was no place to sit down.
Oh, gee.
Full of people. Well, listen, stay in the house. If you go outside, hold on to something, Punch. I don't want to hear from you with a broken leg here in a few days.
If you come by here, bring me a couple dozen eggs.
You got it.
Okay, buddy.
All right, be good.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye. Go to Cleveland, Tennessee now, and Linda. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Ludlow.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
A couple of weeks ago you had a show on what are they doing now?
Yeah.
And I couldn't get to the telephone because I was at work. And somebody called in and asked about Dawn Wells, the girl that played Marianne on Gilligan's Island.
Right, uh-huh.
Well, nobody seemed to know what she's doing now. Well, I read in TV Guide about 6 or 8 months ago that she has a clothing manufacturing company now that specializes in handicap clothes for people who have arthritis and are crippled and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The closures are that Velcro stuff.
Yeah, Velcro, yeah.
Velcro.
Yeah.
Velcro stuff.
Yeah.
And she's somewhere in Tennessee doing it.
I'll be darned. Well, that's good, because I always liked her. She's still a young woman. I would think she'd be involved as well as in that business and involved in acting, but she might be sick of it.
Yeah. I'd say that most of them are.
Yeah. Listen, I'm glad you checked in. Do it again.
Okay, I will.
All right, be good. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Now we're going to Pelcher, South Carolina, and talk to Elise. Elise, how you doing?
Hey.
How's it going?
Oh, I'm about to freeze to death.
It's cold, is it?
It's cold.
All right.
I had a pot of tomato soup I made, and I set it out on my front porch because I didn't have room in my refrigerator for it.
Uh-huh.
And it froze. So I done thought it didn't let it cool off. But I wanted to call about the wind that does your weather forecasting from or something like that.
Yeah.
I jotted down what he said.
Uh-huh.
So far, he's been right.
Yeah, and it's kind of scary, isn't it? Because he does that 6 months in advance.
I know, and it is scary. But I'm telling you, it's cold up here this morning. I enjoy your program, but I don't get to call in much because...
You're not getting any freezing rain or any of that foolishness?
No, we haven't got a thing yet.
Well...
But we're looking for it.
All right, stay warm. Get you some bread and milk, and you can just lick that frozen tomato soup.
Well, I got it on the stove going out.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. You have a tomato sickle up there. 1-800-572-8255, Ludlow and Denny, and let's talk about it. Join us. Hey, for the Boogie Woogie. I wonder where the name Boogie Woogie came from. That would be something for our research department to go to work on. Anybody out there knows where Boogie Woogie came from? Madison, Georgia, and Radio Ray. Good morning, Radio Ray.
Good morning, Ludlow.
How you doing?
Doing great. Just sitting here waiting for the rain and ice and everything to come to Madison.
Are they still forecasting freezing rain, or is that over?
I don't know. They kind of. I think they're still kind of forecasting it. Yeah.
What do you mean you don't know? You work in a radio station. You.
Yeah, they are. They're still forecasting it.
The heart of a great radio station is found in the news department. And you should be on top of this. Like.
Well, hey, you got to remember. Usually, I do sports news around here.
Okay. All right. Well, is it raining? Is it raining at the stadium?
No. Okay. No, I don't think so. No, yeah.
All right.
Okay. Now, what I was going to talk about was movies. I need to bring you up to date on some movies that I've seen.
Okay.
Okay. Saw a movie about a week ago, called American Cyborg. It's a new movie that's out.
You go for this heavy, artsy, craftsy stuff, don't you?
I told Jim about this.
Yeah.
And Jim thinks I'm weird.
Yeah, what's a cyborg?
It's a robot.
Okay.
Yeah, like Terminator, for instance.
All right, okay.
Okay, that's what it is.
All right.
Now, I want to see this movie. I was hoping it'd be something like the Terminator, but it wasn't, though. It wasn't excited as I thought it was going to be. So I hope somebody in the listening audience has seen this movie. Maybe they can tell you how they felt about it. But I'll give it about a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10.
And it's called The American Cyborg.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Now, another movie I saw this weekend was a movie called Tombstone. Great movie, Ludlow. Great movie.
What's it about?
It's a cowboy western movie. Doc Holliday.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've seen that advertised.
Yeah, it's got Kurt Russell in it. Great movie. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 9.5.
All right.
The reason why, because Clint Eastwood wasn't in it.
Was not in it.
Great, right.
Okay.
Now, if he'd been in it, it'd have been a great cowboy movie.
Okay.
Great movie. So I'd like to hear some of the response from some of the other listeners who might have seen this movie.
Does it cover the OK Corral?
No.
It doesn't have that?
No, sir, it sure doesn't.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Go see it, Ludlow. Go see it. So you can see how you like it and maybe get your viewpoints on it.
Okay, I'd like to, because I like the westerns and I like that era, and Wyatt Earp has always interested me.
Yeah, he's very, very interesting. Jim told me it was a historical cowboy movie right there. So
yeah,
great movie to go see. Go see it.
All right.
Think about it.
I promise you, I'll pick up on that one. I haven't seen it yet, but it looks just the previews looks good. And in any place there's cowboys and horses and they're shooting one another, and and a lot of death and destruction and violence. I kind of like that.
Yeah, great movie. You'll love it. Trust me, you'll love it.
Did you know that the word is, from Western buffs, the word is that Wyatt Earp was kind of a fraud.
Really?
Pretty much of a back shooter. Yeah. I don't know about that. I'm just telling you what I read. And that most of his adventures came out of his mouth and they were lies. But I don't know about that.
Well, it was good though. It was a good movie.
Oh yeah, he's a legendary character, and
yeah. Hey, I'm trying to become legendary, like yourself.
Are you really now?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you? What you need to do is start carrying a gun everywhere, getting evildoers, and that's a pretty good way to get legendary. It's
okay.
Pretty good way to get put in a chain gang too.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you and Denny have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, if you get an update on your weather down there, feel free to jump in here and join us.
Okay, sure will.
You take care of yourself.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 1-800-572-8255. Let me ask you a question. I've got this story about Tanya Harding and the Olympics. Just keeps on growing, and I don't know about it. Something troubles me today, and let me see if this troubles you. And I'm reading also from the wire here. A decision on whether to keep figure skater Tanya Harding on the U.S. Olympic team could come within days, the president of the U.S. Olympic Committee said Sunday. One official speaking privately at a USOC executive committee meeting in Durham, North Carolina, said he thought the U.S. Figure Skating Association would kick Harding off the team within a few days, though several other officials disagreed. You recall that Miss Harding's bodyguard and 2 other men have been arrested for an alleged plot against skater Nancy Kerrigan. The worst thing ever happened. This young lady was clubbed on the right knee on January 6th and was forced to withdraw from the national championships that were being held in Detroit. A voluntary withdrawal by Harding, according to the paper, who has denied involvement in the attack and has not been charged, would be the easiest possible way out. Well, they're talking about dropping her, and if she's involved in this in any way, they should drop her, and they should put her in jail. But the fact of the matter is, she has denied any involvement in this, and nobody has come forward to accuse her. Although there's a lot of smoke, I'm willing to admit that. But if she is indeed innocent, if she didn't know anything about this, and these folks drop her, that would be an awful miscarriage of justice. Maybe too big a chance to take. What do you think? Should she be given her day in court before they get her? We can talk about that. It seems like this is shaping up guilt by association at this point. All right, you give us a call, 1-800-572-8255. More right after this. And opened his Neverland Ranch in a Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebration for 100 inner-city children who excelled in school. Jackson spent Saturday mingling with the children, posing for photographs and signing autographs. The children watched the movie Beethoven Second in Jackson's theater, then played in the amusement park and checked out his zoo. Michael has been a friend for 5 or 6 years, and he's been very generous to us, said Chilton Alphonse of South Central Los Angeles Community Youth Sports and Arts Foundation, from which 50 of the children came. My only thought was what my reaction would be if my child came running in the house and said, Daddy, Daddy, I've been invited to Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch. 1-800-572-8, and I have no further comment on that, because 1-800-57 do what? 572-8255. And I've often said this, everybody in the world is convinced that they have a book in them and they want to write it. Well, this is from West Richland, Washington, and a security guard out there, a gentleman by the name of Stephen Cosalter. And he has more on his mind than just protecting a Washington State utility company. When he's out of uniform, he is a romantic. He has even written a book on the subject. And listen to this, the Romantic Ideas Handbook is what he calls it, the Romantic Ideas Handbook. And here's some of his tips on starting a love affair. Don't show up late for a date. Never be sloppy, and don't smell bad. He's got high hopes for this book, but it's not quite a bestseller yet. He's only sold 30 copies. And as far as romance goes, he said that he would be romantic about selling a lot more. Did you have to read a book to know that you shouldn't show up for a date smelling bad? Smith, Alabama, and my buddy Harold. Good morning, Harold.
Buddy?
How you doing?
I'm doing just fine.
Good.
You know, you touched on something a while ago when they was talking about Brother Wyatt and that bunch up at Tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see you devote a whole program to gunfighters of the Old West.
Yeah, because there are a lot of interesting stories around about some of the myths that these folks fell in. That'd be a fun show.
Well, and another thing. You know, there were some old boys and Native Americans running around out there. They were sort of mean, too.
Oh, yeah, it's a tough place to grow up. No question about that, Harold.
There's one up there in Montana territory, North and South Dakota. I'm not going to pronounce his name right, but he didn't weigh about 140 pounds. But at Tunsalwika,
yeah,
he rode a pinto all the time, stud horse.
Uh-huh.
And his name was Crazy Horse. And he was one more bad engine.
Well, that's true.
But You take one of the most notorious gunfighters down around Fort Worth and everything. Got drunk, fell off a wagon, and the wheel run over and killed him. Clay Allison.
That's where he died?
That's where he died.
I didn't know.
He'd been to Fort Worth for supplies and got drunk, fell off the wagon, and the wheel rolled over him. But, that fella, Judge Roy Bean, that self-elected judge, there's an instance that happened. Now, I read this in a book. He was self-appointed and everything, had enough guns behind him to keep him appointed.
And one law book.
Yeah. He sold his cowboy the whiskey. He got drunk and was walking the railroad out going to try to get across the Pecos River. Fell off the end of the tracks on the rocks below and the trestle and killed himself.
And that's the way Roy Bean died?
No, this is a cowboy.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, Roy Bean performed the coroner's inquest. Found a brand new 45 Smith & Wesson on him and $2. He fined him $2 for public drunkenness and confiscated the pistol for old boy carrying a concealed weapon.
He was one of the early on gangsters. He had all bases covered.
He had all of them covered, but he was finally elected justice of peace there on the very tail end.
You reckon there's any chance that election might have been rigged?
Well, one thing for sure, but one thing that I know that Roy Bean wanted, he never did get. That was Lily Langtree.
That's right. That's right.
He never did get Miss Lily. He worshipped the ground she walked on, but
yeah, all history tells us that he had a bad case.
Bad case over Lily.
That Mr. Cupid.
There would be. I know there's several other people out there that would be interested in him.
Yeah, I'd like to find somewhere an Old West historian who knew all the scoop on all these people and sit down with him and
Well, I've got a book here. You know, about 25 years ago, Time Life started the series on the Old West. And I've got one that's the Cowboys. There's quite a bit of it in there. And then another one of the books was the Great Chiefs.
Yeah, we'll go to work on it. That sounds like fun. There's somebody out there that can.
There'd be somebody out there, you know. Not Roy, but Wyatt Earp would have went as far as he did had it been for Ned Buntline. You know, them little dime novels.
Oh, same with Buffalo Bill. Ned Buntline made Buffalo Bill a national. All right, but man, you take care of yourself.
Okay, will do.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ned Buntline was a writer of the time, and made a lot of them. Primarily Buffalo Bill was his paperbacks, The Prince of the Plains, and that sort of thing. Well, we'll talk about that. That'd be great fun. Our number, 1-800-572-8255. I want to tell you about something you should know.
This is the Ludlow Porch Show on the Fun Seekers Radio Network. Get ready to call in and participate because the best talk radio is two-way conversation. We want your ideas and comments. Call 1-800-572-TALK. That's 1-800-572-TALK. And remember, when you get on the line, to turn off your radio because of the delay. Now, here's Ludlow Porch.
Well, good morning, the Fun Seekers. Hi, y'all. Winter day in our Southland. Oh, we have talked to folks who are under ice from all over the South, and we'll continue to do that. But we thought today we would just kind of open this up and just chat one with another. The ice has not reached. We're in Swanee, as you probably know. We broadcast every day from the Atlanta Falcons headquarters, training camp, restaurant, and motel. And the ice is not here yet, but apparently it is all around us and on the way. We got talked to some folks who are having some problems, and we just just got a report of over in the Marietta, Georgia area on I-75. You folks coming down I-75 who are listening, be very careful because it is starting to ice over and get slick in some spots. We will keep you posted. If you're headed to Florida or wherever, you go low and slow. But we are wide open and waiting to talk to you. 1-800-572-8255. As we go right back to the phones and talk to Abnormal. Good morning, Ab.
Well, hello, Mr. Ludlow Porch. How y'all?
I'm doing fine, old friend.
Well, out here in Stone Mountain, it's a little drizzle rain, but no ice.
No ice yet. Well, it's got to go somewhere, and it's below freezing out there, I expect, isn't it?
Getting close to it, and if it gets any wetter, it's going to be slick.
Y'all be careful.
Oh, definitely. I'm just staying in and keep the fire going.
There you go.
In reference to the skating fiasco,
let me mention something before you say. If you wrote a book about this, Ab, nobody would believe it. It's that bizarre, isn't it?
Most likely, no one would buy it if I wrote it too.
Yeah.
I have to agree with you, Miss Tanya Harding. She's already been convicted without even getting a court date. If she's guilty, she ought to be put under the jail. But if she's not, she ought to be exonerated, and she ought to be made aware that folks should apologize to her. But in this politically correct environment, she's already cooked.
Well, I think this. I mean, and I'm sure you agree, I think there's an awful lot of smoke in this case. And there's probably some fire someplace. But the fact remains that she has not been charged. If she'd been questioned by the police, I don't even know that. And for the Olympic Committee to be talking about taking her off of this team at this point, I think is premature. Now, if she's guilty or knew anything about this or was involved in any way, not only should she not be on the Olympic team, she ought to be in jail. There's no question about that. But at this point, I think it's too early to start punishing her, don't you?
Definitely. And just because the bacon's burning in the kitchen and she's in the bedroom, that doesn't mean she has any knowledge of what's cooking in the kitchen.
Yep.
Not only that, at least she's intelligent enough to give her opinion. Now, I feel sorry for Nancy Kerrigan. I mean, she's a beautiful lady, but there's nothing in between the ears. I referred to a reference about how she thought the weather was in her hometown of Boston, and she said, I don't know, I mean, there's nothing in between the ears.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I've heard the only thing I've heard out of her is when she was in such pain. And so you may be right.
I feel sorry for her leg. I hope that she was talking about starting skating yesterday, and she was thinking about maybe even trying a small jump. And her doctors and therapists and all said no. She said it was going to be very boring for her, that she might not even skate just because she couldn't jump. I mean, use some sense, lady.
Yeah, well, those doctors know what they're doing, and if she's going to have the career she deserves, she needs to listen to them very carefully and do exactly what they tell her. I'm always kind of amazed when folks go to doctors and pay to get their advice and their shots and their medicine and then don't follow their advice.
I said, when she was asked her opinion about the weather and she didn't have an opinion, I said, well, I hope she gets better. But at least, like I said, Tanya has a strong opinion about everything. Very strong.
Well, one of the reasons they're giving for this action that might be taken, that USOC officials have expressed concern that Harding's presence at the Olympics might disrupt other American competitors, and that coverage by the news media would ignore other sports such as bobsledding. Well, but you see, none of that's her fault.
No, it's absolutely not her fault at all.
Until she's charged with something, or confesses, or there's more evidence than there is now. I mean, and I know this looks bad for her. I'm quick to admit that, and deep down in my heart, I think she's involved in it. But that's, I don't have anything to base that on except news reports, and that's all these folks are talking about. They ought to cut that old girl some slack and leave her alone until we find more out about this.
Just like the news media picked on Julia Roberts about 4 years ago when she quit movie making for a while. I mean, everybody was supposed to get her, but, I mean, she's a terrific lady. I have to agree with you. The media's put too much pressure on it.
I got to run, my friend. Take care of yourself and be careful.
Wish you well.
Hang in there.
Okie doke.
1-800-572-8255 Ludlow and Denny on a Monday. Join us.
Hey, football fans, Coca-Cola and Quick Trip invites you to register for your chance to win 2 tickets to Super Bowl 28 as we count down to kickoff. Look for the Coca-Cola Classics display at participating Quick Trip stores and pick up an entry form along with a Super Bowl fact sheet filled with fun Super Bowl trivia for your enjoyment. Fill out the entry form and mail it to 1601 West Peachtree Street Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia 30309. And you'll be registered for the hottest tickets in the Southeast. So, even if you don't win the tickets, come experience the NFL at the NFL Experience. Coca-Cola Classic is the proud sponsor of the NFL Experience, the NFL's largest interactive theme park, coming to the Georgia World Congress Center January 27th through the 30th. No purchase.
Oh, you're cold. Cold weather in our Southland. To sit here and look out the window, it's bright, clear sunshine today. You would think it was a spring day or perhaps even a summer day, but as soon as you open the door, you know that that's not the case. It's cold as the dickens at the Falcons complex in Suwanee, Georgia, but I understand that the worst is behind us. So as I looked at the television this morning and saw the pictures in Kentucky and all areas north of here with snow everywhere and snow plows and cars abandoned, I thought, well, maybe this is not so bad after all. It's our turn. But we're going to get back to normal by the weekend, I understand, and that suits me fine. Tell you what I thought we'd talk about today. Well, number one, we're not going to hold you too close, but we might bring a little cheer in if we went back and talked about the funny papers a little bit. You know, the comic strips, the funnies, as we used to call them, not as much a part of our lives as they once were. People followed these things like they follow soap operas and everything now. But they're still out there, and they're still available, and they're still pretty well done. Do you know what the most profitable, money-producing comic strip in the world is today? Brings in $50 million a year from the publication of the comic strip and for the product lines that go with it. Do you know what that is? Peanuts. One of the questions I want to throw out today and see if anybody remembers this or anybody knows this. The original name of that comic strip. Anybody remember that? We'll throw that out and see if anybody out there knows that. Or the name of Little Orphan Annie's dog. Remember Little Orphan Annie's dog? What was Little Annie Rooney's dog? Little Annie Rooney was a comic strip that was copied from Little Orphan Annie. I mean, almost completely. It was a little orphan girl with a dog. It was better drawn, but never reached the popularity of Little Orphan Annie. What was Little Annie Rooney's dog's name? Anybody out there except me? Oh, I know there is. Thousands who remember one of my favorites, Mandrake the Magician. Mandrake was a professional magician, but first and foremost, Mandrake was a crime fighter. Yeah. And he could hypnotize people and take their guns away from them. I mean, hypnotize them whether they liked it or not. Who was Mandrake's giant sidekick? Do you remember that? Anybody out there know the name of Mark Trail's dog? What was Mark Trail's dog's name? What was the original name of the comic strip Mary Worth? Who is Brenda Starr's love interest? Here's one that'll take you back. Can you name Moon Mullins' little brother? Moon Mullins' little brother. And what was Moon Mullins' real first name? Remember that? Do you know what? Can you name me the first continually published 6-day-a-week comic strip? Do you remember Nancy's Boyfriend? Of course you do. Dagwood's Daughter? Dagwood's son, or Blondie and Dagwood's dog? Know any of those? We'll talk about the comic strips. I'd like to hear something about your favorites, or perhaps even your least favorites. Our number, 1-800-572-8255. We're going to try to keep it light today and try to keep it breezy, and might even make it warmer outside. You can't tell if we get our heads together and go after this. So give me a holler. We'll talk about the comic strips. And anybody out there remember this one? Let me ask you this one. At one time, this was one of the more famous names in America. Who was Dale Arden? Dale Arden. A-R-D-E-N. Remember that? All right. Our number, 1-800-572-8255. It is a cold day. It is not going to be much warmer, I don't think, till the weekend, but that's all right. We're going to have a big time all day long. Wrap up good when you go outside. I think the ice is gone from this general area. When I say this general area, I'm talking about the North Georgia area. If you're further north than us, a lot of you are. Keep an eye out for the ice on the road and the ice on your front porch. Bad stuff. We're going to come back and take some telephone calls and talk about the comic strips right after these important words. Stay with us. Hey, football fans. Cold birds, cold bees. Let's talk to Bambi on the radio. Good morning, Bambi.
Good morning, Luddy.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Okay. Little old Sandy's dog.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Sandy?
Yeah.
Oh, I got one.
Yeah. Do you remember little Annie Rooney?
No. I've tried my best.
Yeah, she was not... You would recognize a picture of her. She was never as popular as Little Orphan Annie. But
No.
Almost the exact same plot. A little orphan girl alone in the world with a dog.
It seems like I do now that you mentioned that. But I was trying to think, what did she look like?
She was prettier than Little Orphan Annie.
Yeah.
Better drawn and didn't look startled.
Yeah. So, of course, I guess one of my favorites, of course, is always and always would have been and will be was Brenda Starr.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, of course, you still tell me it's in the paper. I can't find it, Luddy.
Well, I see it every once in a while. I don't know whether I'm looking in the Atlanta paper or another paper, but
Must be another one because it's not in the Atlanta paper.
It's still around.
Well, that and Brenda Starr, of course, were my two favorites.
Brenda Starr, I think, was a comic strip probably written for women.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably so.
And that was the one that had the paper dolls on
Right.
Sunday. You could cut out of the paper. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
And it was at a time when not many folks could afford to go out and buy real dolls.
Well, I certainly couldn't. I don't know about anybody else, but I couldn't.
Well, listen, you stay warm down there.
I plan to.
I'll talk to you.
Okay.
Be good.
Love you.
Love you. Bye-bye. Ranger, Georgia, and Bill. Hello, Bill.
Hello.
How you doing?
Dagwood's my dog is named after Daisy.
Daisy, that's right. Daisy Bumstead.
Yeah, and Nancy's boyfriend is Sluggo.
That's right. Very good. Very
I
good.
think the first 6-day week cartoon wasn't it Mary Worth?
No, it wasn't Mary Worth.
Yeah, Miss Pelcher.
But it's one you'll remember when I tell you.
Okay. I'm listening.
All right, take care of yourself.
Bye-bye.
Juanita, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Ludlow. How are you?
I am cold, Juanita.
Well, I am too. At least we don't have any snow, though. But ice. Hey, little Annie Rooney's dog was Zero.
Was what?
Zero.
Zero is right. That's right.
And wasn't the Bumstead son was Alexander.
That's right. They called him first Baby Dumpling.
Baby Dumpling.
And then they changed that to Alexander.
And then the little girl's name was Cookie.
Yeah, that's right.
Well.
And she's now a grown-up young lady.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Blondie don't look a day old. The Dagwood either.
Yep, that's what the good life will do for you.
That's right. I enjoy your show.
You take care.
I think I'm a third-time caller.
We love it. Keep it up.
Okay, thanks
Bye-bye.
a lot. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. Jim Clip is on deck.
Shoot the juice, Devin Bruce.
Hello, Jim Clip.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy. How you doing?
Better.
Good.
I think.
See, I can't tell when you got a cold because you always sound like you got a cold. You got that deep voice that just sounds puny all the time.
Believe me, it's still hanging in there.
Oh, well, it's tough to get rid of.
I think it's winning.
I don't believe a virus can live inside your body indefinitely. I think it's got to. I think you'll come out of this a winner.
Well, there's some terrible things happening. Oh, Lord. Where'd we get to? What do you need to know?
Oh, anything you want to talk about the comic strips, like Moon Mullen's little brother, who finally took over that comic strip.
I don't remember too much about Moon Mullen, except his little brother slept in a drawer.
That's right. That's his most famous characteristic, slept in a drawer.
And
his name was K.O.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know which ones the two asked that I got. Montreal Dogs and Andy, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Worth was Again Life is Apple Mary.
Right.
Let me ask you one.
All right.
Can you name a comic strip who's changed names 3 times and protagonists 3 times?
Wow. Not offhand, no.
Well, it started life as Big Chief Wahoo and Minnehaha. You call that one?
Vaguely, yeah.
About an Indian chief and his little bitty Indian chief about 3 foot tall and his beautiful daughter about 5, 6.
But it was a modern day Indian, wasn't it? Or was it?
I remember very, very little about that. They changed over the time I was 6 or 7 years old. They changed to Steve Roper.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Roper went out to do a piece on him one time as a reporter and got involved, and for a long time it drifted along there. Steve Roper was in now their lives, and it just switched over to Steve Roper. And then in later years, Steve Roper got to be too mild-mannered after he fought Sonny Bronsky in the World Championship wrestling match. And it switched over to, well, they introduced a man named Mike Nomad.
Oh, yeah. Who was a blonde guy with a flat top.
Yeah.
All right. I do remember Mike Nomad, yeah, who was kind of an early on fist fighter.
Yeah. Well, his name should tell you a lot, Nomad.
Yeah. I remember Mike Nomad well. And I think I liked him better than Steve Roper.
Well, everybody did. That's the reason they changed over. Steve Roper had become a good at 2 shoes. And, they just didn't fit the image anymore.
Very good. That's a dynamite question.
And then, of course, the strip changed to Steve Roper and Mike Nomad. And if it's still continuing anywhere, I guess it's changed again.
Probably.
I hadn't seen it in years.
It might be Brenda Starr by now. You can't I hadn't thought of Mike Nomad, and I don't know. Since 7th grade, I don't guess.
It's been a while. I don't guess I've seen it in 20, 25 years.
It's been a long time. They're fussing me. I got to go. I'm running way late, big guy.
Y'all be sweethearts.
All right, get to feeling better.
I'll do it. I always have before.
I know it. We'll be right back. Y'all stay with us. Hi, Fun Seekers, Ludlow Porch. Well, I hope by now that I've convinced you that go to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and talk to Noella on the radio. Hello, Noella.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi. It's beautiful and sunny here.
Well, here too. I'm glad.
Yeah, isn't it great to have nice sunshine? I've knew several of those, and I've got several.
All right.
Steve Roper is still around. We have it in our Chattanooga paper.
Okay. Is Mike Nomad still in there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, it's just as weird as ever. And couple of what else I have? Oh, Wee Folks is what Peanuts used to be called.
No, you're close, but not Wee Folks.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
That also was Dick Tracy one of the longest running.
Yeah, it is.
But it's not the one you're after, right?
No, the longest 6-day strip. Not the longest running necessarily. The first regular published 6-day-a-week comic strip.
But it wouldn't be Dick Tracy?
Not Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy's been around quite a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah.
But this one predated Dick Tracy.
Uh-huh. Hey, let me ask you one.
All right.
Yeah, Popeye and Olive Oil?
Yeah.
Okay, there was a little baby in it. What was his name?
Oh, wait a minute. Sweet Pea.
Oh, boy, you're up on him, aren't you?
Sweet Pea. I hadn't thought of Sweet Pea in years and years.
You're a sweet pea yourself,
well, bless you. I'm going to tell you the name of the original name of Peanuts was Little Folks.
Oh, Little Folks. I thought Little Folks was that one, and I thought, no, it's Wee Folks. Yeah.
I think there is one called Wee Folks, or there has been.
Yeah.
I'm glad you called. Stay warm.
We will. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's talk to Pat in beautiful South Carolina. Hello, Patricia. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Looking at sunshine here, too.
Good. I'm glad.
She just answered the little folks answer that I had. But there's a comic that I'm not allowed to read that I would really like to read.
What is that?
Doonesbury.
You're not allowed to read that?
No. The paper here, the Greenville News, refuses to put it in.
Uh-huh.
Even on the editorial page. And I would like to read Doonesbury once in a while and not have to go to another paper to read it.
Well, it's political, but it's still funny. And,
it is.
And even when I disagree with it, I think it's funny,
Yeah, well, they haven't got around to letting us have it yet, so I don't know what we can do about that.
Well, have you called them?
No, I haven't called them, but I've had other people write in. I haven't written myself, but other people have written in, and they just say, I think one of the answers was it's published in the nearby paper of Spartanburg, which is 30 miles away.
Yeah.
So I guess they figured that we'll buy a Spartanburg paper.
I guess. You take care of yourself.
Okay, then.
I'll talk to you.
Okay.
1-800-572-8255. Let me give you some more. What is also from Peanuts? What's Pigpen's last name? Anybody out there ever remember seeing Pigpen's last name? What is Pigpen's last name? Who was known as the Ghost Who Walks? Who was known as the Ghost Who Walks? What famous comic strip was set in the Okefenokee Swamp? Who is Rex Morgan's nurse? And can you name, and here's a good one, can you name the comic strip that was created by famed mystery writer Dashiell Hammett? Can you name the comic strip that Dashiell Hammett created? What was the original name of the comic strip Smiling Jack? Remember any of those? Got a bunch of them. What comic strip was based on a cowboy movie series? Remember that? What comic strip was based on a cowboy movie series? Might have to think about that one, but that will come to you. If you know any of those or just want to talk about the funny papers, it's 1-800-572-8255. We'd like to have you join us.
And early this morning, a hard freeze warning. Take precautions for your home, your car, your plants, and your pets. My exclusive 5-day forecast: clear, windy, and bitter cold, low 6 to 13. Later today, sunshine, breezy and cold, high 32, low 15. Partly cloudy on Thursday, high 40, low 26. And the extended forecast, Friday through Sunday.
As we talk to Larry, riding around with his car phone to his ear, having a good time.
Yeah, boy. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Larry. How are you?
I'm cold, like you said earlier.
All right, crank that heater up one more notch.
Well, I got it blowing now. But this summer, I don't want to hear you complaining about the heat and saying you're waiting on winter now.
All right, I'll try to watch my mouth in August.
Okay. Couple of things. You mentioned one. I was going to get on you for not mentioning two of probably one of the best storyline comic strips as far as I was concerned. The Ghost Who Walks is a phantom.
Yes.
Great comic strip.
Yep.
And the one you hadn't mentioned that I think is one of the best written and we'll never see the likes again is Little Abner.
Oh, yeah.
You haven't even mentioned Little Abner.
Well, we talk so much about Little Abner here on almost a daily basis because that was my favorite, and I did enjoy Little Abner. You know how tall Little Abner was?
I can't remember now.
6'3".
6'3". Peter Palmer played him on the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Or the last movie that was made. I think Buster Keaton played him on one of them.
Buster Keaton was the first Little Abner, I think.
Yeah.
He didn't look anything like Little Abner ought to look.
No, it just doesn't strike me as a Little Abner type. You see what?
Peter Palmer, who was not much of an actor, but made a great Little Abner, I thought.
Oh, I thought that was a great movie.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody had a great part. I mean, perfect casting for Pappy and Mammy. And
yeah.
The only thing I missed was the schmooze. I always liked the schmooze.
The schmooze, yeah. The schmooze would be a hard thing to put in a movie, I guess, unless you animated them.
I don't know. I can think of a couple of actors that probably... No, I shouldn't do that.
Oh, you rascal.
Anyway, I just wanted to get on you for that. And
well, tell me Pappy Yoakum's full name.
I really don't know.
You're like this.
Yeah.
Lucifer Ornamental Yoakum.
Yeah, that's good.
You take care of yourself.
All right.
I'll talk to you, big guy.
Bye.
Go to Hog Mountain and talk to Cecil on the radio. Good morning, Cecil.
Hey, Letty, how you doing?
I'm doing good, big guy.
Good. I may start me a bird farm up here.
A bird farm?
Yeah, man. I threw some old cornbread and bread out there and sunflower seed, and of course my bird feeder's full, and I got dove and cardinals and all kind of birds. Blue jays, woodpeckers, they eating side by side.
All right.
Sluggo was Nancy's boyfriend, wasn't it?
Right.
And of course, one of my favorites, Pogo, was down in the swamp.
Yeah, good man, yeah.
A lot of wisdom came from it.
And funny wisdom, too.
Yeah, and I tell you one I like now that reminds me a little bit of Pogo, not quite, but it's Shoe. You ever read that?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
And I find that, and Farside's my favorite, but I enjoy Shoe, too.
Yeah, Farside has become my favorite. That guy's got a strange mind. I really like him.
Really, have you ever seen the calendars?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're neat, too. And also, I miss Snuffy Smith. I used to read that religiously. I never paid much attention. A buddy of mine was talking about how funny it was, but it isn't in the Atlanta papers, I don't think.
No, I grew up with Snuffy Smith like most people, and I don't recall seeing it in a while either.
Yeah, I don't. The one that I don't care for, I'm probably not intellectual enough to keep up with, is Doonesbury, but I think that lady should have it where she lives. So at least you could leave it alone or take it if you want to.
Yeah, that's pretty much my thought about Doonesbury. I find it different than my political views, and I find out it irritates me as much as it entertains me, but I still read it.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Howard Stern. I don't like people that insult people all the time. And some people do, and that's fine. All right, got one for you now. It's not a comic strip, but it's a cartoon. The old Our Gang.
Yeah.
On buckwheat.
Yeah.
What's his last name?
Ooh. What do I want to say, Jones? I don't know.
Well, the reason you won't say Jones is because it's Thomas.
Okay.
I tell you, I wouldn't have known it. I woke up during the night the other night, and it was on, and he got in a little trouble, so they kind of had an APB out on Buckwheat Thomas, and I thought, well, I'm going to ask him that one of these days.
Great trivia question.
All right, Letty, you have a good day.
All right, buddy, hang in there.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Talk to Jackie. Hello, Jackie.
Oh, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, my friend?
I'm just great. I hadn't had an opportunity to talk to you since Christmas Eve, I think it was.
I knew you were busy.
Well, I just have to work, and I only get to hear the first 30 minutes of your show every day.
Well, we got to see about you changing jobs.
I've just got to quit. That's all. I'm going to stay home and become a woman of leisure. That would be nice.
I love it.
I had some answers, but other people have already given them, so I'm just going to launch out and tell you, I truly, truly miss Burton Breathitt, the Opus, and oh golly, now he does Outland, I think, but it's not in the Atlanta paper.
I'm not familiar with
it. Bloom County.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, that's it. I had a little fit of temporary madness there.
Okay, yeah.
But I love Bloom County, and what he would do, I've collected all of the books of Bloom County, compilations of all of the strips, and what he would do is make cartooning a business. It's like an industry. And he would have some of his characters go visit the palatial mansions of the real successful cartoons. Like, I think Little Lulu and Peanuts and all these people, they're really not who they are in the strip. they're really like actors and actresses.
Oh, I see.
And they have these, they have mansions, and I don't know, one of his characters, Bill the cat, who's, there's scroungy, no good cat, is caught in a hot tub with little Lulu or Nancy or somebody. I mean, and it just, it's like the fast lane. They're all in the fast lane, and they're not these real sweet, precious little cartoon characters.
I love, what a great concept.
Oh, I love it. I love sarcasm. I love satire.
Yeah.
And I love, if you remember Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live doing buckwheat.
Oh, yes.
Oh, golly, that's just a bright part of getting my tapes out and watching all my old Saturday Night Lives. I just love satire.
Do you remember the answer to the comic strip that was the first one to run 6 days a week continually?
No.
Way before your time, but it started before your time, but it ran during your time.
And what was that?
Mutt and Jeff.
Yeah, I remember Mutt and Jeff.
Yeah.
Sure.
That was the first super mega hit comic strip.
I want to write my own comic strip.
Do you?
Yeah. I have my own little cartoon characters. I take my cats and a fictitious mouse that lives in my house, haha. And I have little vignettes, and I have my own little family comic strip that comes out from time to time.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's fun.
Send me a copy.
And I will. And tell that Bambi, I think it was. I don't know if anybody's answered about Brenda Starr, but Brenda Starr is in the Sunday Journal-Constitution.
Okay.
She's not in every day, but I have been following her latest predicament, and she's right over there, right above Mary Worth, and I don't know where Mary Worth gets off on her snippiness. I mean, somebody ought to tell that woman to mind her own business.
Well, she's 108 years old. She can do whatever she can do whatever she wants to. That's right. You be sweet. I'll talk to you.
Oh yeah. Talk to you later.
All right. Call again. Bye-bye. 1-800-572-8255. Who was the Phantom's girlfriend? Anybody know that? Or what comic strip was based on the cowboy movie series? And in Terry and the Pirates, who was Terry's best friend? Who was Tilly the Toiler's boyfriend? And who was Tim Tyler's sidekick? Any of those? 1-800-572-8255. Right back. Ben?
Hey, how you doing, Ludlow?
I'm doing good, big guy.
Good. I'm making a guess on that oldest continuous strip there. Would that be Etiquette?
Mutt and Jeff.
Mutt and Jeff.
Now, that wasn't not necessarily the oldest. That was the first one that was ever run 6 days a week.
I remember it now. Now, some more, let me tell you when we get back at it. You remember Out Our Way?
I vaguely remember Out Our Way, yeah.
There were some classics in that. It was a single picture cartoon.
Yes.
And that was in, what was there, Born 30 Years Too Soon. And then they'd have in there the expression, hold a newt, she's a rare. But there was some real good ones in there. Now, 3 of them I used to read every day with Adrian Slats.
Yeah.
And Bronco Bill and Big Sister.
Now, those were all three ahead of my time, Ben. I don't remember any.
They were in the 30s.
Okay.
I tell you, back during the Depression now.
Okay.
But they were good when, we used to look forward to reading those things.
Yeah, they were, as I said when I started this off, they were a big part of our lives in those days. Because
they were. That's what you look forward to getting the paper.
That's right, and you, and if you were too little to read, you look forward to getting in somebody's lap and having them read it to you.
That's right, there.
I
read them when I couldn't understand all the words, and I'd just skip over what I couldn't understand there.
I love it. You take care of yourself.
Okay, appreciate talking to you.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
Bob, good morning. How you doing?
Okay.
Good.
Terry's friend was Waco Charlie, wasn't he?
Terry and the Pirates friend?
Yeah.
Well, he had one. That wasn't the one I was looking for, but you're talking about Hot Shot Charlie.
Hot Shot Charlie.
Yeah. But the one I was looking for was Pat Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, Snuffy Smith strip had a different name before Snuffy Smith.
It was Barney Google.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was a character, a comic strip character that had a tin can on his head years ago.
Yeah, his name was, what was his name?
Happy Hood.
Okay. I remember.
And there was another comic strip character that wore a stovepipe hat and had a black mustache.
Who was that?
Hairbreadth Harry.
Okay, I remember Harry, yeah. Oh, I'd forgotten that.
Yeah. And there was a comic strip character that didn't have any chin, but had a mustache.
Well, none of the Gumps had any chin.
All right, Andy Gump.
Yeah. Remember the Gumps? Well, big comic strip. Big
Yeah.
I'm glad you called, Bob.
Well, wait a minute. There was another one that was champion boxer.
Joe Palooka.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good deal.
Oh, yeah. Remember all of those.
Yeah.
Glad you called, big guy. You take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you as we go to Spartanburg, South Carolina, and talk to Ralph. Hello, Ralph.
Hello, Ludlow. How are you this morning?
I'm good, buddy. You all right?
Good. This is my 74th birthday, and I have one that probably predates you.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. How about Hambone?
Don't remember Hambone.
Okay, he was a great philosopher. He had a lot of little one-line sayings, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember one in particular that was very interesting. He says, the man what ain't got no education sure has to use his brain. And one of his others...
That's marvelous.
one of his... Let me tell you one more on Hambone. He said, when the angel of the Lord comes down to swoop me to take me to heaven, I would ask him if I could eat just one more watermelon.
Precious memories, how they linger, right?
Oh, someone mentioned Andy Gump a while ago.
Yeah.
Wasn't one of the characters a very rich, very wealthy man? Is that the one that and he had a mother-in-law that he couldn't stand? Her name was Ma Distrauss. Does anybody ever remember anything about that?
I don't remember that.
Uh-huh.
But you know what I always wondered about the Gumps? I always wondered, since they didn't have any chin, how did they put a pillowcase on a pillow?
Oh, that's a good one. I'll have to ask Hambone about that one.
Let me know what he says.
Okay.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Dublin, Georgia, and Philip. Hi, Philip.